Sarah never understood her grandmother's fascination with the old mansion. It was a place shrouded in mystery and whispers, a relic of a bygone era that seemed to hold more secrets than memories. It loomed on the hill, a dark silhouette against the stormy sky. Now it was hers. The mansion stood like a sentinel, watching over the town below, its presence both commanding and foreboding. The lawyer's words echoed in her ears. Sole beneficiary, vast estate, ancestral home. The terms felt heavy, almost burdensome, as if they carried the weight of generations past. She gripped the iron gate, its coldness seeping into her hand. The rusted metal felt like it had absorbed the sorrow and joy of countless lives that had passed through it. A shiver ran down her spine. The chill wasn't just from the cold, it was as if the very air around her was charged with an unseen energy. This place felt more like a prison than a gift. The barred windows and dead trees seemed to whisper tales of confinement and lost hope.
The air grew heavy as she stepped onto the overgrown path. Each step felt like a journey deeper into the unknown, the fog wrapping around her like a shroud. Each step crunched on dead leaves, sounding like brittle whispers. The sound was almost deafening in the silence, each crunch a reminder of the life that once was. The scent of damp earth and something else, something faintly sweet and rotten, filled her nostrils. It was a smell that spoke of decay and time, of things long forgotten. Unease settled in her stomach, a knot tightening with each step towards the imposing structure. The mansion seemed to grow larger, more menacing with every step she took. Why did her grandmother ever want to live here? The question echoed in her mind, mingling with the shadows of the past. What secrets did this place hold, and why had they been left to her? Dust motes danced in the weak rays of sunlight that pierced the boarded-up windows, creating a surreal, almost magical atmosphere in the otherwise desolate room. The mansion's interior was a tomb of shadows and silence, each corner cloaked in darkness, whispering secrets of a forgotten past. Cobwebs draped everything like gauzy shrouds, weaving a delicate yet eerie tapestry over the remnants of a once lively home. The air hung thick and still, heavy with the weight of forgotten years, as if time itself had decided to stand still within these walls. Sarah wandered through darkened hallways, her footsteps echoing off the bare wooden floors, each step amplifying the eerie silence that enveloped her. Each room seemed to hold its breath, waiting, watching as if the house itself was alive and aware of her presence.
Portraits of stern-faced ancestors lined the walls, their eyes following her every move, judging her intrusion into their domain. She paused at a painting of a young girl, her smile unsettlingly wide, her eyes hollow and dark, as if they held 1,000 untold stories. Sarah swore the portrait's gaze shifted, following her as she moved, making her feel as though she was never truly alone. A chill snaked down her spine, a cold reminder of the house's eerie grip on her senses. She quickened her pace, eager to escape the suffocating atmosphere of the house, her heart pounding in her chest as she sought the safety of the outside world.
Days turned into a blur of unpacking and exploring. Yet one room remained untouched, hidden at the end of a long, dusty hallway. Its door, a heavy oak slab, was locked, the keyhole sealed with wax. Her grandmother's diary mentioned it only once. The west wing is forbidden. Some doors are not meant to be opened.
The words ignited a spark of curiosity in Sarah. What secrets did this room hold? Why was it locked away, shrouded in mystery? The more she thought about it, the more determined she became to uncover the truth. Sleep offered no escape. Her dreams haunted by glimpses of the door, its dark wood whispering promises of forbidden knowledge.
Late one night, armed with a poker and a flickering candle, Sarah stood before the forbidden door. The air around her was thick with anticipation, the kind that makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. She had heard the stories, the whispers of what lay beyond, but curiosity had finally gotten the better of her. Her hand trembled as she chipped away at the brittle wax. Each fragment that fell seemed to echo in the silent hallway, amplifying her fear. She could feel her heart pounding in her chest, each beat louder than the last. The lock yielded with a groan, sending a shiver down her spine. It was as if the door itself was reluctant to reveal its secrets, groaning in protest as it slowly gave way. Inside, the air felt different, colder, heavier, laced with the metallic tang of fear. It was as if the room had been sealed off from time, preserving an atmosphere of dread that was palpable.
The room was sparsely furnished, shrouded in shadows. The sparse furniture seemed to loom out of the darkness, casting eerie shapes on the walls. Dust lay thick on the floor, undisturbed for years. It was clear that no one had set foot in this room for a very long time, adding to the sense of abandonment. A single window, boarded shut, offered a sliver of moonlight, illuminating a massive, ornate mirror against the far wall. The moonlight seemed to dance on the surface of the mirror, casting an otherworldly glow. Its silver frame was tarnished, etched with strange symbols that seemed to writhe in the flickering candlelight. The symbols were unlike anything Sarah had ever seen, adding to the room's unsettling aura. Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched, her every move scrutinized by unseen eyes. It was as if the room itself was alive, observing her with a silent, malevolent presence. She took a deep breath, trying to steady her nerves, but the feeling of being watched only grew stronger.
Drawn by an unseen force, Sarah approached the mirror.
My own reflection stared back, pale and wide-eyed.
But as she watched, a horrifying transformation began. Her reflection twisted, a malicious grin spreading across its face. Its eyes turned hollow and black, reflecting nothing but a chilling emptiness.
Panic seized me. I stumbled back, dropping the candle.
The room plunged into darkness, the only light emanating from the mirror's depths. There her reflection stood, no longer a reflection at all. It was a separate entity, its grin widening, its hand reaching out towards her from the mirror's depths.
Sinister laughter.
A scream caught in Sarah's throat as the figure from the mirror pulled itself free. It moved with an unnatural fluidity, its limbs contorting at impossible angles.
Terror rooted me to the spot as it slithered towards me, its grin widening into a grotesque mockery of a smile.
You shouldn't have come here.
Its voice was a dry, scraping whisper. Sarah backed away, stumbling over her own feet. The room seemed to shrink, the walls closing in on her. She fumbled for the doorknob, but it was gone, replaced by smooth, cold wall.
Panic surged through me. I was trapped, cornered by this thing that was once my reflection.
Menacing chuckle.
Desperation lent Sarah strength.
She dodged the creature's grasp, feeling the chill of its touch as it grazed her arm.
The boarded-up window became her only hope. She hurled a heavy candlestick at the glass, shattering the silence with a deafening crash.
Splintered wood and shards of glass rained down as she squeezed through the narrow opening, ignoring the stinging cuts.
The creature shrieked in rage, its hollow eyes burning with a malevolent light. It lunged for her, its clawed hand missing her ankle by inches. Adrenaline surged through her veins, urging her onward. Sarah didn't stop running until she reached the bottom of the hill. She risked a glance back.
The mansion loomed against the night sky, its silhouette menacing and alive.
The creature's face, contorted in fury, leered from the broken window. It couldn't follow, not beyond the mansion's grounds.
She collapsed on the wet grass, her chest heaving, her body a symphony of aches and pains.
As the adrenaline faded, the full weight of her encounter descended. The mansion held a darkness far older and more sinister than she could have imagined. And somehow, she was connected to it, bound to it by blood and a chilling encounter she could never unsee. The memory of that night clung to Sarah like a shroud. She couldn't shake the feeling of unseen eyes watching her, following her every move.
She tried to forget, to move on, but the mansion's grip on her soul refused to loosen.
Even from afar, its presence was a weight on her chest, a chill in her bones.
Sleep offered no escape.
The creature haunted her dreams, its hollow laughter echoing in the dark corners of her mind. The mansion beckoned, its windows like watchful eyes, promising further terrors, whispering of secrets yet to be revealed. She knew with chilling certainty that she hadn't seen the last of it. Years passed, but the memory remained, a scar etched deep within her soul. The mansion still stood, a silent sentinel against the ever-changing skyline. People whispered tales of the old house on the hill, stories of strange lights and eerie sounds. But Sarah knew the truth.
She never returned, but the mansion's shadow stretched out, touching everything she did, tainting every happiness with a sliver of fear.
She finally understood the warning her grandmother had left behind. Some doors, she realized, are best left unopened. Some secrets are better left buried. And sometimes the greatest terror lies not in the unknown, but in the reflection staring back from the depths of a forgotten mirror.